99% of people will go through a process of gaining knowledge without doing anything with it. And the issue on the spiritual path is that we will collect so much knowledge that it never turns into understanding. Understanding is the goal, and understanding is the dissolution of knowledge. The more knowledge you curate and collect, it has to be digested. You can't just have a bank of knowledge. It doesn't do anything. It's completely useless. Knowledge has to turn into understanding, and you can only get to understanding by bringing dissolution to your knowledge. If you think of the difference between playing a guitar when you're first learning versus when you're completely 100% fluent in music, it's crazy. You have to think about the access point to the guitar. Chords, strumming, you need to think of the rhythm. Everything is like you're thinking about it. You're accessing knowledge, memories, thoughts, things in your brain. But when you're playing the guitar, when you know it fluently, you're not accessing knowledge. Knowledge is not there anymore. So knowledge prevents you from understanding. Therefore, the only right knowledge to find is knowledge that removes knowledge. And knowledge removing knowledge is understanding. This is why the path of understanding is so important. So the path of understanding, what we need to see is that once we understand something, it doesn't just instantly do something in experience. There are points of our experience. Sometimes it will. There will be things that once we hit a point of understanding, a lot of things will drop away. A lot of things will literally just drop away. And I mean in terms of the spiritual path. When we understand something about the nature of reality or the nature of ourself, a lot of conditioning can drop away on its own. But there is a lot of conditioning that is not going to drop away on its own. It's going to take you to actualize your understanding. And the biggest thing that nobody does on the spiritual path is actualize their understanding. It's like they don't believe they deserve to be that powerful over their own experience. It's like they don't understand their own power. I don't know why it's like this, but in my experience, it was almost as though I had this understanding and I kept it in the closet of my heart. And then whenever situations arose, I thought, well, I understood it, so shouldn't it just automatically just not be there? Why is this thing coming up? It doesn't work that way. You have to engage with your understanding. You have to activate it. So you have your understanding. Let's just say it's the nature of who you are. Doesn't matter what it is. The understanding of something that is deeply, vastly important for some benefit in your life. And a situation arises, you have to, if the situation triggers you and you don't know how to resolve it, you have to actualize your understanding of that thing. You basically have to measure it against the truth. What most people don't do is they don't measure the facts of their experience to their highest love and understanding. So basically, to activate your understanding, and this is how you actually actualize everything that you've learned, when something comes up, let's just say that it's, we'll go with this because this is something that I've been going through lately with a client, is unworthiness. So if you have discovered that what you are is completely inherently free, infinite, whole, complete, but then you have experiences that seem to contradict being whole, complete, infinite, and free, then what's going to happen is that there's an incoherence in your experience. Now, at this stage, the primary baseline of your life, and this is something that you need to note, is you are devoted to the truth. So when something arises, you don't think of it as, oh, damn it, I've done it again. I'm an ignorant little bastard who doesn't know anything. Now I have to go back to the drawing board and find another guru, fix myself again because I've got another problem. That's not what you think. This is the old paradigm thinking. This is not the thoughts anymore. Oh, I need to heal a little bit more because then I'll be better and more perfect. It doesn't make any sense. We're leaving that paradigm behind. That's the paradigm of the seeker. I'm a little truth seeker, short and spout. Here's my notebook and here's my spiritual book. This is like ridiculous. We're truth explorers. We are exploring the truth. We're not seeking the truth, we're exploring the truth. This is what we're doing. So when you're exploring the truth, the quality of your experience is drastically different. It's the difference between doing everything you can to run from life versus doing everything you can to be absolutely wholeheartedly devoted and interested in it. That is the difference. And guess what? Guess what's going to happen if you make that shift? Life is going to be readily available to teach you everything that you need to know and learn. Now, your only job is to be interested in it. That's your only job, to be absolutely interested in the truth. So when something comes up in your experience that is not in coherence with something you know to be true, Your job is to be interested in that. Not to go, oh, damn it, there it is again, how unenlightened I am, let me go back to God knows what. You just go, wow, interesting. So this experience has arose in my life. I wonder why. I'm curious about this. Let me investigate a little bit further. And you go into that thing. Oh, it seems to be that I'm unworthy. Is that actually true that I'm unworthy? Am I really unworthy? Am I fundamentally lacking? No, that's not true. But why do I still feel that way? And then your understanding will unfold in this way. By you channel your understanding through the path of interest and curiosity. You don't channel your understanding through the path of I want to remove my suffering and get rid of this thing because I don't like it and it's horrible and I don't want it to be there. That puts you back down again. That takes you lower and lower in vibration. You want higher, higher, higher vibrations. You can only channel the vibration through an energy. The energy of either removing your suffering, which is going to take you lower vibrational chakra. It's going to take you right down to the root, because the root is there to sustain experience. It's to do things. I will build a fire. I will flint and steel this little piece of ember. I will go and collect fruit from that tree. I will go and build a hut. I will do. This is doing energy, which is supposed to be there, but it's not supposed to be there in order to discover the truth. You can't discover the truth through a doing vibrational energy that is there to sustain experience, the body, the family, the world, the people around us. It's there to sustain that. But to find truth, you cannot do it through that way. So how do you then do seeing the truth? If everything you've ever known of doing is the opposite of what you need to do, you'd be interested. It's that simple. Think about it. You have two options. You've got to discover the truth is here. You've got two pathways. Do you take the pathway of I'm going to do things to discover the truth, or do you take the pathway of I'm going to be interested in the truth? This takes you to the truth. This, it hits a wall. It doesn't do anything. Absolutely useless. 99.9% of the spiritual path is just discovering what I just said. Just discovering that you can't do anything. Not that you don't do anything on an ultimate sense, but this is the nuance. This is the craziest little paradoxical thing. You do something, you'd be freaking interested. And that interested is a higher vibrational energy that's going to take you right to the truth. Because at that point, guess who's interested? Guess who's interested? The separate self, the ego that thinks that they're absolutely nothing and nobody and worthless and it's not interested in anything. Interest doesn't come from the separate self. The separate self isn't an entity in order to be interested. So even if there is interest and it gets clothed in the separate self, the original interest is still coming from God. It's still coming from reality. It's still coming from source. It's just then convoluted through the belief in being temporally limited and finite, and it becomes more interested in removing suffering than interested in the truth for the sake of truth itself. So the biggest shift to make is to actualize your understanding by taking it through the path of interest and curiosity, because that's what God is. God is interested, God is curious, and God is living every single possible detail of life. So take that on a conscious level, because you're doing it anyway. God is always interested and curious about life. This is why it's all here. Life is literally a curious desire. That's what we would call it. On an ultimate level, we're not going to use words like that, but if we were to describe it from a human level, it's a curious desire. That's what it's all made of, curiosity and desire. So we're taking now the path of curiosity and desire. We're saying, I'm curious and I want to know the truth. That energy is so pure. It is the purest energy because it doesn't want to do anything. It doesn't want to change what it knows. It doesn't want to change what it's experiencing. It's pure life energy. Everything around you is built and sustained on God energy. And God energy is an energy that says, I will be every single possible thing that ever possibly could exist without any desire to change, remove, or be anything different. That is pure God energy. So when you're channeling pure God energy, this energy that says, I'm curious and willing to know the truth for the sake of the truth alone, that is quite literally the pure essence of God shining through your life into the body, into the mind, into the world. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to see every single issue that you have with pure innocence, pure innocent naturalness. That is the energy of God. Shining through the mind, seeing something with such purity without any desire to change it. That is how we integrate the truth. We don't integrate the truth by saying, another issue. Let me see if I can solve the issue because I don't want it to be there, because if the issue's there, my life's in detriment and I don't know what else to do. That's just removing suffering energy. You've got two energies: desire to know the truth, wanting to remove my suffering. Wanting to remove my suffering takes you lower in the vibration. It takes you round in a loop. Desiring to know the truth takes you up in the chakras. I'm using chakras as a silly example. It takes you up, but it's true though. It takes you higher and higher and higher. And the highest one is when there's absolutely no desire to change any experience at all. And in that moment, there is no problem left. So take this approach, integrate your understanding, integrate everything you have learned through that pathway, and your life will never be the same again. I have a mastermind group. The link is in the description. I take people through these meditations every single week. If you want to join, the link is going to be there. I would love to see you there. Have an amazing day, guys. Take care.